Bob and Helen Nitzche had no idea that the neighbors they would become so attached to had wings and webbed feet. The swans that lived near their property became victims of the state's eradication effort, but to Helen Nitzche, they weren't wild swans, not really even pets, more like friends. First, she didn't know what to think.
I was a little apprehensive. I know they can do damage, and I didn't I'd never been around that type of creature before, so I wasn't sure what they would do, and I'm sure they weren't sure of me either. But I talked to them a lot, and they did respond. There is a certain little sound that they make, a very soft sound.
And then they became friends.
One year, they literally, before we had grass planted, they ran to us. And I remember Fred falling, and he was very embarrassed that he fell. It was like he got up and nobody noticed that. Please don't anybody notice that. So they ran to us, and we went and got the cracked corn and the water and fed them. But they were very anxious to see us. They had bonded with us as much as we had them. I mean, if I was out in the flower garden, working in the flower garden, they would stay right with me. And if Bob was working in the yard on the car or something, the male would come up and look in the windows and under the hood and so forth to see what he was doing. So they were as close to us as we were to them. We were very bonded with them.
It wasn't long before Helen became a grandmother all over again.
When they come from that island to bring those babies over to our yard, you know that they want to show these babies off. It's like taking your first child home to meet your parents or something. But they were very proud parents. I mean, there was the whole demeanor about them. They were very protective of them. They had a formation that they used to protect them from large fish and turtles and so forth. But it was just it was a matter of understanding them, I think, from having known them for a whole season before they had children.
The Swans, Fred and Ethel, had babies each year, but one year they noticed a set of new baby swans was gone.
We took the pontoon boat over to find out what was going on, because it was unusual that they were not over to come to see us every day. And you could see the babies from our boat that they were gone, and we went looking for them, and we had the bread with us as we always do, and I reached over the boat and fed her one. She came to us, but she took one bite, and then she could barely hold her head up. She was so distraught, and you could tell she was in mourning. It was because they were such good parents.
And more than anything, Helen remembers when the parents, Fred and Ethel, disappeared for good.
Because the babies were almost fully grown when they took them. And they were, there were 8 of them when they took them. So altogether there were 10. And I don't know if they took the parents. I'm not sure what happened. All I know is they didn't show up. And I couldn't figure out what happened, and one of the neighbors told me. And he said, "You've got to miss them." And he said, "You spend every day with them." And I said, "Yeah, I do. I miss them a great deal." I cried a lot of tears after they left. And I still miss them because every one of them has a unique personality. Every baby had a personality, and the pair that are here now have a personality.
And she says that the swans that are there now won't get to know her quite as well because she can't stand the thought of losing them too. Chris Kepler, AkronNewsNow.com.